Hi everyone, my name is Beth Mudharia, a secondary school teacher and a mental health coach. Today I would like us to talk about developing a readiness and resilience in our children. We know what resilience is. Resilience is ability to bounce back from stress, adversity, failure, or a challenge. We would like to develop some skills in our children who have been at home in this period of COVID-19, and we would like to develop some skills in them. I know you have been doing that, but we would like them to have skills that will help them to bounce back from this from the stress that they have been having and the problems and the challenges that they have been having or facing during this particular period when they have been at home for a long time. We have already addressed some of those challenges. So what are some of the strategies we as parents can use to help our children, and I know we have been using them, to help our children to get back to school when they are okay and they feel that they don't have these issues. So one of the strategies that we could use is to build a strong emotional connection with our children, a good relationship with our children. I know we have been doing that. But in this period, when most of us are stressed, we may get us diverting our stress to our children. And when this happens, our children may have issues because we could be diverting our stress to them. So we need to be aware that our children need that good relationship, because when we are so hard on them, they may not be able to seek help from us, and we need them to be seeking help from us and to create confidence within themselves such that they can ask or seek for help anytime that they need it. I started teaching immediately after my schooling as an untrained teacher. And I had a student who used to come to school very dirty almost all the time. I learned later that this boy was an orphan, and they didn't have anyone, the children didn't have an adult or a caregiver with them. This particular boy was doing very poorly in class. He didn't have pencil, he didn't have books. He was having a lot of jiggers. His clothes were always dirty. He used to get a lot of punishment. And so one day, I asked the class, what can we do to help this boy, their friend, so that he can be even writing in class? One of the child suggested, let's buy a book for him. So they contributed very little amount of money each, and they managed to buy a book and pencil. All of us bought some books for this particular boy as a class. These are students, these are young children. And from that time, this boy had a lot of confidence in me. That boy loved me. And like to reward me, he started doing very well in my subject. In fact, most of the time was getting 90%. And so 90% as opposed to the zeros and the 10% he was getting there before. And as young as I was a trained teacher, I learned something, that these children that I'm teaching, they need my love. And when they have my love, they are likely to do better. That was a young boy. So we normally see even the animals, the young cubs, when they are having the parent animal with them, they are able to play around, and this gives them confidence. How much more will our children have the confidence when we have that relationship with them? So I know we love our children, but let's make the bond even more at this particular time, because as we said, they are afraid, they are scared, they need to be assured of that relationship. The other thing that we could do is to promote health risk taking adventures for them. When the children are taking risk, when they take risk outside their comfort zone, they are likely to create a lot of confidence. We must allow our children to go out in doing some games and the like, and have risk such that this risk is healthy, in that if it happens, they will not be hurt so much. So we need to create that health risk taking activities for them. The other thing that we may need to do is to resist the urge to fix things for them. When our children are growing up, when they are very young, I don't know, as a parent, as a mother, when your child is struggling to walk, sometimes the only thing that you can do is to take a stand, probably for them to stand, and from there get some support so that they can walk. But one thing we know is that we can't walk for them. When they start writing, and you see the way they are struggling in writing, one thing we know is that we cannot write for them. So we need to know that there are many things that we need to do for our children, but we cannot fix everything for them. So I have a friend, I went visiting her, and I found she had a young girl with her, and that girl was 10 years. She was trying to help her sort some cereals. But the mother stopped, this woman stopped her. And I asked her, why are you stopping her? She said, I don't want our food to have stones. And I asked her, when will she ever learn to do it? Allow her to do it, so that if today you have your food with some few stones here and there, next time it will be better. So we stop fixing things for them, all the things for them. There are some things we can fix for them, but let us resist that urge of fixing everything for them. That way, they will learn how to do things by themselves. The next thing, or another thing that we could do, is to teach them problem-solving skills. How is that? Maybe you are watching TV and there is a problem that comes, something that has happened, there is a story there and there is a problem. One of the ways that we could have in your discussion with these children, would it be good if you can ask, let's say you can ask these children, how can you solve that problem? Or how can we solve this problem? That problem that has been posed there. How can they participate? When they come up and start thinking, okay, if I was given an opportunity to solve this problem, this is what I will do. So when we pose some questions to them that are going to help them to come up with ways of solving problems, this is so key for them. They need to know how to solve problems in life, because you as a parent, you will not be there for them. So when you teach them on problem solving skills, it's a key thing, and let them know that it is okay for them even to ask questions as they do it. Then the other thing that we may need to do is to label them emotions. When the children are angry, label that one as anger. When they are happy, it's good to know. It's good to know that they need to be happy. It's good to know that we feel anxious. It's good to know that we get sad. When they get to know that it is all right to be sad, it's all right to be anxious, they will be able to know that it is all right to be anxious because it's a normal thing. They will not feel so bad about themselves, because they will also know that adults too can get anxious, and it is good for them to know this is anger. We are not always feeling angry all the time. this is anxiety. We are not anxious all the time. When they get to know that, and they get to know that you as a parent also go through these things, it helps them. Develop coping skills by demonstrating these coping skills. Like I've just said, when they see you solving problems, they will be able to solve the problems because they know that adults too face problems. And when they see you solving those problems, they will also learn how to solve the problems themselves. The other thing is that you need to help them to promote the bright side of life. Every experience that one has, it can be good or bad, but let you help them promote let them be optimistic. Things are not working now, okay, but they will. Things are not well today, but they will get better. In other words, they are looking forward to something bright in future. Not that things are so bad and they'll continue to be so bad. Let them know that there is a bright side that is coming up. As we have mentioned before, exercise is a good thing for them to do because it helps the mind. It helps the mind to be able to solve a lot of problems. It actually helps the mind to come back to be resilient. So it is necessary for them to go swinging. It's necessary for them to go playing around, because I know, like those children in towns, where you put them, they are in the houses. Let them go out and exercise. It's very important. So the next thing that we may want to promote is to recognize the children's strength, particularly the strength in character. If your child is an honest child, let you verbalize it. Let your child know you are happy that he's honest. You are happy that he's doing things in an honest manner. That is the virtue. Promote the virtue. And when you see a good virtue in your child, don't keep quiet. Talk about it. Tell them that you are happy they are demonstrating their character is good. Like that honesty. When I teach my students and I ask them, if you're in a matatu and you are given, you are not asked for the fare, the matatu fare, what would you do? They tell me, Mwalimu, can you actually give it? If you go to the shopkeeper and you buy something, you give 1,000 shillings or 100 shillings, and this shopkeeper gives you back more change. What would you do? Hey, Mwalimu. They use the word kuangukia. I cannot give back. You know, some of our children are like that. It's good for us. Discuss some of those things with them. It's good for these children to know that is not a good virtue. Giving back the change is a good virtue. Doing something positive, the character, development of character. But let us point out when we see a good skill like that one, or the strength of your child being demonstrated. Talk about it. Let them feel proud that they are honest children, that they are doing well. Let them just know that they are doing well. Even as we talk about the strength could also be in a skill. When you realize that your child can do a particular skill well, why don't you point it out? Why don't you help that child to do that skill even more? Because when it is coming from you, it is so important. I had a student that I taught one time. That particular class used to make a lot of noise. There were such noisemakers. And one time I went to their class and I told them, you people are such good noisemakers. Do you know something? That is a skill that you can use for radio. presentation. And it passed. When I was leaving that school, these particular students were in Form 4. And one of them wrote for me, Madam, when we were in Form 1, you told us that noise making, it is showing that we talk so much and we can be radio presenters. And I think I got an idea. I am going to be in media. And later, I actually found him with those cameras following with the media people in a meeting that I attended. What does that mean? It may be something when you recognize a talent, even when a child is not doing so well, and then you realize there is a talent here, like my student, noise making. Not good for us as teachers. You don't want them to make noise in class. But that child recognized, that particular student recognized his talent and he pursued it. So it is good to recognize our children's strength, and it is very important for them to know that you have recognized, because you are their hero. They will feel good about it. Help them to be kind to someone. This helps them when you tell them to be kind. When they are kind to people, they feel good about themselves. They know that they have participated in helping somebody solve their problems. And when you pose these problems to them, by the way, they will come up with ideas. I remember again, let me say, the student in a former school that I was teaching, they were asked to come up with an ideas how they can help, and they decided, there were 780 of them. They decided, why not forfeit our lunch and take all that food for donation. You say, when you give them an opportunity, they will come up with great ideas. Great ideas also to be kind. So it is important for us to help them to be kind and show them some of the ways that they can be kind to people, so that they are not just so selfish. Another thing that we may need to develop in our children is to teach them gratitude skills. Let them be grateful. They may not be having so much. You may not be having so much in your home. But let the children be grateful. When we wake up in the morning, we have a good day. When they recognize this is a good day that they have. When they recognize the good things that they have, they may not have everything, but at least there are things that they can thank God for. There are things that they are grateful for. There are things that they can talk about. I have this and I am grateful for it. That way, it creates some confidence in them, and they are going to be resilient, especially if they write them down, they talk about it. The character is going to be developed. Let them also nurture in your children the growth mindset. Let them not have their minds fixed. I talked about my brother the other time who had a fixed mentality. Let them not be having fixed mentality. Let them know that they may be failing today, but there is an opportunity to grow. Let these children know that there is hope. Why? Because having hope is so important for them. Things will get better, and it is going to be well. So in conclusion, we can say that all children are capable of working through their challenges. We need to help them as adults. Resilient children, they are likely to take healthy risk, and they don't fear. That these children, they know their limit, and they can push and move on. So let us help our children to reach their goals. Apostle Paul talked about, and he talked to his clients and to his people, the people of Philippians, and told them, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely and of good report, anything that is of virtue, anything that is of praise, that can be praised of, he challenged them to meditate on these things. I would ask us to help our children in meditating on these good things that we have talked about, in practicing these goods that we have talked about. That way, we are assured that even when we are having challenges with the COVID-19 pandemic, our children are going to bounce back to their schools, and they are going to be happy at home and when they come back to school. We are not going to lose any one of them. They will come back strongly, and it is going to be well with them. Thank you.